Okay, over to you, Rev. Over to you, Rev. Over, start.
She said you can start.
Um, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this very, very important session. I want to believe that this is a great moment for you as you can watch us. If you are connecting with us from wherever you are, please just leave a comment in the chat session and let us know where you are connecting with us from. Let us know what side of the world you are in. If you're in Nigeria, if you're in the UK, if you're in the US, please leave a comment and let us know exactly where you're watching us from. This is the episode 5 of the Let's Talk About Boys um, campaign that we've been having for quite some time now, and it's been an interesting session. We've had very, very beautiful people come up to share with us, some great tips about how to raise your boy child, and they've been very, very insightful sessions altogether. I'm not alone here today. I have Faithful, I have Damilola, and of course, we have our convener here also. Faithful, I don't know if you can, just give us a brief
Oh,
introduction
that's what.
before we go into the discussion.
Can you stop the app? This is great.
Can you hear me, Faithful? Okay, if Faithful cannot hear me, maybe Dami can. Dami, can you hear me? Maybe you can give us a bit of introduction about, what we're doing today.
Yes, I can hear you.
Uh, okay. She said she can. Should I go on?
Seems the network is a bit
Okay.
choppy on Faithful side. I don't know if this is you know yeah, I can see you waving, I can see you trying to communicate, but I can't really
I
hear
can hear you.
you from here. Dummy.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Hello, Dummy, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for a brief introduction, we are here today, yes, said, to continue on, talking about the boy child. And today we are specifically talking about discipline styles, the 21st century discipline styles for children, or yeah, for boys, as the case may be. I think his network went off there. Um,
It's copy. Can you hear
the
me, Sister
network is.
Bola?
We can hear you. We can hear
That I
you,
can
ma.
hear
I
you.
can
Good
hear
evening.
you now. Good evening.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, ma. I don't know. Mr. Noel's network went off,
Hmm.
so I think we'd have to.
Yes, it went off completely. Um,
Yes.
but can you
Okay.
hear me, Sister Bukola?
It's back.
Can she tell
It's
us?
back.
Because I've not heard her say anything.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Oh, I can hear you now. I don't know about others.
I can hear you. I just want
Welcome
to be
back,
sure
ma'am.
that Sister Bukola is also hearing us.
I'm sure she can. All right, your network went off. Hello, Mr. Noel, can you hear me?
All right. We're
What about
back,
Mr. Noel?
and if you can hear me, can you just leave, you know, um, a good emoji in there? I want to know that we are all connected together here. And like I said earlier on, before I got cut off, I'm here with Faithful, and I'm here with Dami. Okay, so if okay, Dami, Faithful, I want you to do your quick introductions before we go on.
All right. Let me go first. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
All right, that's fine. You can go first. Yes, I can hear you.
All right. All right. My name is Damilola, and I'm a boy child advocate. And together with the rest of the facilitators this evening, we're going to be talking about 21st century discipline style.
Okay.
So, yeah, welcome everybody.
Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, because I know that we're live and it's just me that I can hear myself, but I know that, but Dami Faithful, if you can hear me, you know, just go ahead. I'll, I'll try to jump back in and then I'll be able to connect with you.
All right, sir. Okay, ma'am, please, you can go ahead with your introduction. So we'll just go into the topic proper. I cannot hear you, ma'am. Unmute your mic, ma'am. I can't hear you. Can you hear me, ma'am? Okay, I can't hear you actually. I don't know if your mic is muted or if it's just the network. Okay,
Unmuted, right? But it keeps
I
his
can hear you
network.
now. Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Yes, I think his net is not muted. So I said, my name is Faithful Idem, a boy child advocate, a counseling psychologist, and that today, all right, a volunteer for Train the Boys initiative. And today we will be talking about training boy child in the 21st century. So that's all we'll be talking about today. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. So, Mr. Noel has network issues and he will join us shortly. So I want us to just kickstart because I mean time is running out. All right. So,
Okay.
let's start with you. Let's start with you, ma. So, the boy child, training the boy child in 21st century, what's that all about? How does that come to play? Or what? How different is it from, I mean, the other centuries?
All right. Okay. All right. I will start this way. Both the boy child and parenting generally, it has taken a different turn entirely, right? It's
True.
no longer the same as it used to be back then. Yeah.
Mm.
Training the boy child now is quite different because the generation we are training now, they are more informed. They have information at their fingertip. It wasn't like those
True.
days when your parents can just
True.
tell you this and you just believe them because you don't even know otherwise. But right now, there are informations everywhere on the internet, on the social media, and just everywhere. So to train this kind of generation we have now that have informations at their fingertips, they call them the microwave generation. That does their own things at the snap of their finger.
Mm.
The traditional way of parenting back then can no longer work
All right.
because
That's
the
true.
children we have now are not the same kind of children that we have back then. Can you
I
hear me,
agree with
please?
you. So, yes, I'm with you, ma'am. I
Yeah.
can.
So training a
Yeah.
child in the 21st century is quite way, way, way. There's technological advancement. Everything has changed. The social media, everything. So much information right now, and man, it's a whole lot new game right now. So training a boy child right now is a whole lot different from what it used to be. Gone are those days where you can just wake up, your parent takes you to the farm, and all that and all. Things has changed. So also parents.
Definitely. Yeah, things have definitely changed, and it means that as parents as well, we have to go with the trend so that we intentionally raise boy child that are like appropriate for this generation. So we have basically like four basic training style, parenting styles, as we have like laid the foundation that parenting styles are
Yeah,
actually linked to discipline. The kind of style you use in parenting your boy or your girl, as the case may be, is going to determine what kind of discipline style
yeah.
that you would use. So, what are those four basic parenting styles? And maybe you just help us with one of them. So I just, we go from there.
Okay. So we have about four parenting styles that are, let's say, the ones that are in paper.
Mm.
All right. So now I
Yes,
will
ma'am.
just mention four of them, and I will basically based on one. I will mention the four of them and explain or dwell on a particular one. So for the parenting styles, we have the authoritarian parenting style. We have the
Mm.
authoritative.
Okay, the network is really dealing with us tonight. All right, so she was about mentioning the parenting styles. We have basically four, like she said, those that are like on paper. They are four generally. We have authoritarian parenting style. We have the authoritative parenting style. We have the permissive parenting style. We also have the neglective parenting style. So those are like the four major parenting style. And let me just pick one from it so that we go on till she's able to join us again. So for the authoritative parenting style, this kind of parenting style is the kind of style that I believe that was used in like over generations before the 21st century. And it's such that the parents are very rigid with strict rules and regulation, do's and don'ts that are like very, very strict. And they also have these severe punishment. So if you don't do what daddy said you should do, there is serious punishment attached to it. So of course, that kind of parenting style would ensure that the child obeys. It does not have interest but to obey. But at the end of the day, obedience is coming from a place of fear and not even from a place of, oh, this is right or wrong, right? Aside that, the authoritarian parenting style, there's is also a kind of parenting style that lacks warmth. Like the parent is just about the rules. This is how you live in my house, and that's it. No interference, no interaction with the children, no dialogue or discussion. It's not the kind of parenting style where the parent has time to, not like they don't have the time, oh, it's just that they do not discuss or interact with the children. that's what it is. There's no interaction, no discussion, no okay, this is why you should do this is why you should not do this, right? That's how the authoritarian parenting style is. And it's actually sad because this kind of parenting way or this style is actually still being used in our world today. There are so many parents that still parents like this, like, right? And like Mrs. Faithful said earlier, it's actually not going to work because things have changed. See, there is a limit to how you can push your children. Yes, they would end up obeying and all of that. But the bad side or the downside of this style is that you end up raising children that grow to become, either they become rebellious or they grow to become people that are really, they cannot make rules by themselves, or they cannot make decisions by themselves, because of course they grew under these rules and regulations made by daddy and mommy. And I mean, since their own opinions and their thoughts does not really count or does not really matter in the, like, in the whole, in their life or in their growing up, so they grow up to become adults that cannot even make, you know, decisions for themselves, right? And that is why this style of parenting is not, not so, especially in this 21st century, right? Bringing this to discipline, you know, if you are the kind of the authoritarian parents, discipline, the kind of parents that would beat up their children. Like, I mean, when I say beat up, I mean beat up, beat up their children, you know, at the slightest provocation, you know. And you know, at the end of the day, like I said before, these children grow up to become people that, aside from the fact that they can't even make decisions for themselves, they become dysfunction. They become dysfunction because, you know, they believe in the use of violence to pass out a message or to instill obedience and fear. And that's definitely not the kind of child that you want to raise. All right. So we have authoritative parenting style as well. And for the authoritative parenting style, it's a bit different. And like the way it's been explained, it's a balanced parenting style. It's the kind of style where you allow the child to be involved and you also still have structures in place. So there is warmth, you know, there's structures. We have rules and regulations, but they're not like strict and, you know, very hard like that. You have rules and regulation, you have structure in place, but the child is also heard, the child is seen, the child is listened to, right? The child is able to, you provide a kind of environment where the child is able to thrive. So even if this child is saying that I want to be a footballer, for example, right? In the with the authoritative parenting style, the parent is able to lead that child, or provide an environment where that child with that dream actually makes the best use of his life and thrives in it, right? That's like the difference, because compared to being an authoritarian, is a no, no because I said no, not because anything is wrong with being a footballer, but just because you can't do that in my house, right? But for authoritative, you know, you're able to make provision to listen to what the child actually wants, you know. And then that's not, you're not just doing what the child wants, right? You are bringing, okay, this is what my child wants, this is what should be, and then you're putting a kind of balance to it, providing an environment where the child feels safe and secure, nurtured and cared for, right? But the child is still on the right track, because you know, as children, you cannot leave children to make decisions on their own, or you cannot actually make decisions for your child based on whatever the child says. That's definitely not the way to parent as well. So this parenting style is balanced, because at the end of the day, you raise balanced adults. You raise and okay, we are specific with the boy child, right? Because I believe that training or parenting is like, should be the same. The way you train your girl child should be the way you train your boy child. Well, we all know that special attention should be given to the boy child, because the boys have like more, they are more what's the word now? They are more vulnerable to rebellion. Like, they can easily rebel. They are a bit stubborn and it's really hard to control them and all of that. So that's why it's very important to even be more intentional with parents, and especially when they are young and they can still be, you know, modeled or mold to be that, you know, very good version of themselves, right? So that is the authoritative parenting style. Remember that I said that it's a balance. It's balance. You're bringing a balance between what is right, or structure, a structure. You are It's a structured environment. You are bringing structure into the life of that child. You are listening to that child. You have warmth. You have time. You have time to discuss. You have time to interact with your child. That's like, the authoritative. So you have authority over that child. You have there's also punishment when a child does wrong, but it's not so strict, and that the child cannot even have breathing space. It's not that bad. So number three, we have the permissive parenting style. And with the permissive parenting style, right, in this kind of style, the parents just allow the children to do whatever. Like, oh, this is what you want. You want biscuits. Okay, fine, we'll get biscuits for you. So the child grow up with the I can have my way mentality, right? There is nothing I want that I can't get. If you've ever met adult like that, if you've ever met adult like that have this, oh, I can get anything I want, or everything I want I get. If you've ever heard anybody say something like that, they must have grown under, a permissive parent. There's no rule, there's no particular regulation, no structure, no authority. The parents are very careful around the child. They want to do everything and anything to please the child. And I feel like this parenting style is like the extreme, is an extreme, right? So like I have said, authoritative is like the balance. Authoritarian is another very serious extreme, while being permissive is also another extreme, right? It's an extreme, out of fear of, you don't want your child to feel choked, you don't want your child to, be not be expressive. You want to raise a child that you can interact with and all of that. Somehow some people trying to like go towards this extreme of letting the child have his way, or his or her way, in any situation. And that's why it's also not a very great parenting style, because at the end of the day, you end up not being able to correct your child, and growing up, the child becomes that kind of person that does not listen to anybody, right? They become really rude, right? They become really rebellious. Those kind of children will not listen to their teachers, because they just don't. In fact, and the thing is that they see anybody that is coming with a structure or with rules and do's and don'ts as an hater, right? Because they grew up, or they are growing up in an environment where whatever they want is what it is. Do you understand? So anybody that is coming with that structure in quotes becomes the bad person. Do you understand? And that's why they become rebellious, because they are like, who are you? What are you saying to me? Right? And that's the permissive parenting style. We also, for the last one, have the neglectful parenting style. And this parenting style is also a very serious extreme. With this, the parents don't have time. I think that this style is for parents that actually are very busy parents with little or no time for themselves, not to talk of their children. The parent does not. So it's not even a matter of whether they want to be authoritarian or they want to be authoritative or permissive. It's like they're absent. They are there in flesh, but they are not there. Do you understand? So and so the children grow up with in that kind of environment where they don't even know what to do or what not to do. They don't because there's no figure, there's no authority figure in their life. The parents are absent, the children are left alone to grow up on their own. They become adults pretty fast, and they make their own rules. At the end of the day, they make their own rules that they live by, and they end up being, yeah, independent, you could say that, but they also end up having really low self-esteem and having issues with, maybe issues with submission if the person is a lady, or even issues with listening to other people, right? So we actually had to go through all of this parenting style because, like we said earlier, they are related, or they are linked with the discipline styles that we have in this 21st century. So for your boy child, see, in this 21st century, like Mrs. Faithful said before she went off, it's very important that you understand that he knows all that there is to know. All right. And this is like good and bad and all of the in-betweens, right? So you need to model first. There's a discipline style that is called growth mindset. There's another discipline style that is called something around emotional intelligence, right? Positive reinforcement. These are styles. See, is a fact, is certain that our boy child will err once or twice, right? Yes, we know that for sure. We would have to have that correction. We have to correct. We have to be in that place to guide, to model, to mold, and all of that. So, but it's very important that you choose, how you want to do that. Know how you want to do that. All right. So, like I was saying, there's positive reinforcement. For positive reinforcement, you are focusing on the good habits, the times that this child or the child, your boy child, did well, encouraging those good habits, those good attributes of your boy child, focusing on those times that your boy child did very well, right? Maybe you could, at first, you could actually give reward, do you understand, and all of that. Then we also have, okay, we also have, so that's for positive reinforcement. Sorry about the break. We also have growth mindset. So your discipline style is such that you that your child understands or grows through that wrong, like comes out of that wrong and see growth in it. Because I mean, once a child is able to understand that, okay, lying is a bad thing, he grows beyond that level where he lies. Do you understand? So that's also, see discipline as a growth tool. Let me take that. See discipline as a growth tool, as something that is not just to correct that child in that moment, but to help the child grow beyond that neglect or that disobedience, as the case may be. All right. So have the growth mindset, see discipline as a growth tool, and use it correctly. I'm not saying don't beat your child or beat your child. I'm saying see discipline as a growth tool. Ensure that you are not focusing on the negatives. Ensure that you're not. I understand. I have seen stubborn boy child or boy children, as the case may be, or stubborn boys, as the case may be. I live with two boys, right? I have two boy siblings, and I understand how stubborn the boy child can be. But at the end of the day, the only way to make sure that they grow beyond, because beyond this level and this stage is by employing the correct discipline style. So what kind of parents do you want to be? Do you want to be the authoritarian parent that your child cannot even say anything when you're there, you know, and that the your fear is the beginning of wisdom for them, right? They don't have a say, they don't have a voice, their opinion does not matter. Do you want to be the kind of parent that is authoritative, firm, but mindful, firm but caring, firm but accommodating? Do you want to be that kind? Yeah, that, like, I think that's the word. Firm but accommodating. Do you want to be that kind of parent to your boy child where they know the wrong things, they know the wrong things and the right things. They know the things not to do and they know the things to do. They know that if they do the wrong thing, they can come to you, right, and say, Mom or Dad, as the case may be, we did this. We're sorry about this, but we did this. They can actually open up to you when they actually do wrong. Is that the kind of parent you want to be? Or do you want to be the permissive parent that, okay, people say we should not correct you said we should not be so harsh on them. Oh, let's just leave them. We're not going to be strict, we're not going to be rigid. Let's just let them have their way. Is that kind of parents you want to be, without structure, without boundaries, without rules or regulation? Or are you the kind of, or do you want to be the kind of parents that is, or are you, because for some people you're already parents, are you the kind of parent that is neglectful? And so you might think that when we say neglectful, we actually just only mean parents that are not like available. Maybe they're caught up with work or with their career and they're not there. You could actually be neglectful in certain areas, right? If you focus more on some areas than others, you could actually say you're neglectful in those areas. For example, if you are so focused on the child's academics that you do not think to actually parent him also in emotional in his emotions, or parent him also in the way you relate with other people, that's also neglectful. right? So I think that that's all there is to say about parenting styles. We are going to have to maybe share with you some of the other things from the other first classes there so that they could not join us right now. I know that you've gotten one or two things, and I mean, I'm sure that you also have things up in the comment section. So thank you so much for joining us today. We are really sorry for the old network thing. We are going to come up with something to make up for that. Thank you so much for listening through. And this brings us to the end of the Let's Talk About Boys campaign for the summer. I hope that you've had a great summer with your boy children or boy child, as the case may be, right? And I also trust that as you've been following this series, you've gotten something. It's not just enough to learn, it's more important to like put them to use. Thank you so much for joining us today. Till we come your way again, have a great day or a great evening, and please train your boy child the right way. Thank you so much. And don't forget that when we say train your boy child, you don't have to be a parent before that's for you. I mean, yes, there are boys around you. So train the boy child around you as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.